So I truly have to say this. I think this is the fastest that this game, Call of Duty, has ever been updated after launch. Black Ops 6 has been wild for the amount of updates in the game, whether it's fixing bugs or whether it's adding in new features or fixing ones that were completely broken like we're going to look at today. They have been on top of it. And on top of all of that, they are also addressing a bunch of other things that people are complaining about as well, whether that be XP earn rates being too low. They've added a couple things in for that playlist-wise that we will talk about in a minute. On top of that, broken features or just more content, because on top of the update that we got today, which I truly believe might be one of the best ones yet, we also got this.
The Pantheons infiltrated Avalon's underworld. They're after the global crime networks. It's all about influence and control.
Sam, what's the play?
Time to get your hands dirty.
So yeah, season 1 is looking absolutely spicy, and at the very beginning of that trailer there, I think we got our first hint of the post-season story for Black Ops 6 as well. I still believe that we will get a cinematic on day 1 of season 1, and when that happens, I will fill you in on what is going on with that. But just what was said here.
The Pantheons infiltrated Avalon's underworld. They're after the global crime networks. It's all about influence and control.
That is where things get interesting, because Pantheon being after the global crime networks, now we know that they are speaking of the crime networks inside of Avalon, who Savati Dumas, the character that we saw there, used to work for. But another global crime network that we know from the Black Ops series is, of course, Raul Menendez. But when we get more information, we'll talk about that. Let's move in-game and look at what got updated today. Up next, we have our playlist update for today. This may be the best part if you're grinding for camos. There is one downside to it, and we will get to that in a second. So first off, we have Nuketown 24/7. If you've been grinding for camos, you know that Nuketown 24/7 is amazing for it, but now it might have some competition with Stakeout 24/7. So Stakeout 24/7 is face-off, obviously 6v6. It has domination, kill order, kill confirmed, and team deathmatch. This map is super tiny, so if we're going for camos on like your shotguns or your short-range SMGs, it's amazing. Now, I do have one complaint about this mode. As of right now, from what I have seen, if you go into your filters, you can see that in hardcore, there is no hardcore Stakeout 24/7. There is Mosh Pit, and as you can see, if you go into Face Off Mosh Pit, there's various different maps, but there's hardcore Nuketown and there's hardcore 10v10, but no hardcore Stakeout 24/7. So if you're going for your pistols, this might not be the best way. Maybe they added in throughout the weekend, but as of right now, it is not there. And then we have 10v10 Mosh Pit. So this is domination, hardpoint, kill confirmed, and team deathmatch. And the maps include Lowtown, Nuketown, Skyline, Vault, Scud, Red Card, Rewind, and Derelict. So this should make some of the bigger maps a little bit more fun. And the smaller maps like Nuketown and Skyline are going to be pretty ridiculous in this one. Now, we also have patch notes. Now, moving into the patch notes, here we first off have the map changes. So Lowtown, they addressed an issue where players could get outside the intended play space on Lowtown. Pretty plain and simple. Then we have our featured playlists. As it mentions, they will go live at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We don't know yet when they're consistently going to be updating playlists. It's been kind of all over the place as far as updates goes. We don't know if we're going to be getting a specific day of the week for update day, but we already discussed those featured playlists. The one that everyone's been complaining about, the recon combat specialty. So they already nerfed it so that the amount of time that enemies are highlighted was 1.5 seconds instead of 2. Today, they further reduced the duration that enemies are highlighted after respawning from 1.5 to 1 seconds. It also says we will continue to monitor the feedback on combat specialties throughout post-launch. So I don't think it's the amount of time that it highlights enemies. And yes, this does make it worse. I think it's just really overpowered to begin with, especially when the maps are so small in game. I don't know if they're going to completely get rid of this or ever will. I think it's getting closer to a stable area. I personally think when you spawn in one of two things should happen. One, enemies should be highlighted on the mini-map, or two, it is just a picture of where they were in that second. So in other words, you don't actually see where they're moving, it's just where they were as you spawned in. That would make it a little bit better in my opinion, and really the only way that I could see it remaining at least somewhat balanced in the game. But as of right now, everyone's using those blue perks, everyone's using that combat specialty. XP earn rates, they resolved an issue where match bonus was being improperly scaled across the game. Hopefully that improves it. They also resolved an issue where match bonus was not consistently being awarded in Search and Destroy. So if you're a Search player, you will enjoy that. Challenges, they removed get 50 elimination using weapons with no attachments daily challenge, and stability added various stability fixes. I'm hoping this fixes the connection in the game. As this game has been out longer, packet burst has got worse and worse and worse for me. I have good internet. I am playing on a cable. I don't know what else I can do at this point, but all I can tell you is that the longer this game has been out, the worse it's gotten, to the point where now in zombies, I'm getting packet bursts when I spawn into a zombies game. In multiplayer, the beginning of every game that I play is pretty much a flip book. It's very, very frustrating. Then we move into zombies. Weapons resolved an issue where weapons with default scope would show an extra attachment pip when viewed in game. Weird. Resolved an issue where multiplayer loadouts would be present when previewing their zombies loadouts. Field upgrades closed an exploit that allowed certain field upgrade augment effects to persist beyond their intended duration. In other words, the frenzied guard field upgrade basically made it so that if your teammate used it on your team and then they left the game, you would have frenzied guard forever and could not be damaged by zombies whatsoever. Obviously, this gave a god mode to the game. They fixed this, it no longer works like that. The other one, vehicles, closed an exploit that allowed players to launch tactical rafts into the air on Terminus. I'm assuming this means that the tactical raft glitch where you could block off zombies from attacking you now will no longer work because we won't be able to get the tactical rafts out of the water. Now, there may be a way around this, but as far as I am seeing, it looks like that is why they did that. And then stability added various stability fixes. So as a whole, what I have to say is most of the key issues have been addressed at this point. I'm sure more will be added in within season 1 and more things will break and more things will cause problems and they'll have to constantly fix these things. But the only other things that I could really say I would like to see addressed or at least talked about, number 1, skill-based matchmaking. I will tell you right now, I have a video planned on that. It might be going live later today. So if you want to see another video today, be sure to hit that like button. But skill-based matchmaking has been a thing as far as Black Ops 6 goes, but again, we will get to that in a later video. And then the other one, to me, still just, there are so many concussions and frag grenades, and yes, I know I can use flak jacket and I can use these tac mask and these various different perks or throw down a trophy system, but it's just, they're so frequent, especially with how small the maps are. They just feel really, really strong. And I don't know if these will ever get addressed at all. But as of right now, I'm a little bit worried in the long run. But that being said, with season 1 coming, 2 of the 3 maps that are coming are medium-sized maps. So that may alleviate some of that stress with some bigger maps in the game. But I don't know. Let me know what you're thinking. What are some issues that you've had with the game so far? But like I said, I think this is one of the better updates that we've had so far, especially those playlists. Let me know what you think of that season 1 trailer as well. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're